Salutation, you cucks and all. Welcome to the third edition of the Suplex City podcast. Yes, we're growing still, little by little over here, but yet we're still in our developmental phase here. I'm your host, Marilyn Wolf 10, and joining along with me is my other co-host, Renene. But apparently we're missing one member right now, Vexpir, because...
down again.
Yep, Vexpir apparently missed his flight over there. He couldn't make his way over there to the ring right now, so we're going to have to make do over here with just the two of us right now.
His gear lost in baggage claim. He can't come here without the feathered boa.
Right. And we got a whole lot of shit that we got to cover here today. Because we got to cover here some... Actually, we're going to add some gaming news over here upon the Suplex City podcast because...
Since we have time to do it last week.
Yeah, because the PlayStation press conference happened over in Paris this week, so we got a lot of shit to cover from that. And plus, we got a lot of shit to cover from wrestling, because we have Hell in a Cell, Ring of Honor, Raw, Smackdown, and NXT, and also Lucha Underground news. So,
I watched the thing of that. I watched the thing of that recently with the medallions for that thing. It reminded me like so much. I don't know if anyone even remembers outside of but it was on, I forget what channel it started on, but then it, like, the last time I saw it was on, like, the 4Kids TV, because I think it was a Saban thing, but, does anyone remember WMAC Masters?
No, I hardly know for what the fuck you're talking about right now.
I guess I'll put up a link later if I can find the clip of YouTube. Getting a little bit of context.
Yeah. So, anywho, here for our first fall weekend, and our first fall is the news from Sony's press conference that happened over there in Paris. And speaking of that, we have finally a release date for No Man's Sky, which is finally coming up here in June 2016. Hopefully that they can stick the release date and don't push it back over there to 2017 like they're known to do nowadays. Also, we got new shit coming over for Tekken 7 for PS4. That apparently that they're going to have it come out also too upon the PlayStation VR. Because let me tell you straight that they're pushing that VR hard. They're definitely going to push that VR hard for SummerSlam. So
yeah, surprised Tekken 7 got the, what do they call it, Project Reality, I believe it's called.
Yep. Also too that we have new exclusive footage for the new Horizon Zero Dawn game, which was fucking nice. Looks so goddamn pretty. That we also got here too for the new multiplayer footage for Uncharted 4 and Thieves End, which is coming out next year. Then we also got some new stuff for racing games. We got new stuff for Track Club, and we also got news about the newest Gran Turismo, and which the fact about that Gran Turismo is coming out 2016 for the PS4, and it's also going to have VR support. Also, too, that we're going to have a new Minecraft-like game for Sony coming out soon. Too, that we also have for Street Fighter V's release date confirmed for February of 2016. Hopefully, Capcom can release that well. So, and
speaking of that, they revealed recently newest character Dalsim. He looks a lot different than he usually does. He's got the same thing going on, but he's got a full-on beard now and the turban. His V skill lets him float in the air. Like he's basically become like they've extended like the whole. I feel like they've extended the whole thing where it's like he can teleport into his yoga. I think it's called catastrophe, like the slow-moving fireball. Like they've like pushed him even further into like, oh, he's all the stretching and like big setup character to like do damage and all that, the positioning. Cause his V trigger is like he puts flames on the ground that it doesn't hurt you, but you lose any health that you recover. Will disappear, I think, and then you'll start to regain that health once you're out of those flames. So a tremendous amount of setup with this guy.
Right.
And PC the data mined the shit out of possibly confirming previously leaked character roster, and they did confirm that everybody that was released, Kadin, Mika, Rashid, Laura, Zangief, and Dalsim, they possibly the 6 other because there was an image for 6 post-launch characters getting in on this, and it's rumored to be Alex, Urien, Third Strike, Judy, Ibuki, Balrog, and a new character named Zen is also rumored. But yeah,
right.
PS4 and PC February.
Yep.
And speaking of Street Fighter 4, former battle designer for, well, that's Street Fighter 5 I should say. But the former Street Fighter 4 battle designer, he did game designer for Super Street Fighter 4 and the director for Arcade Edition will be directing the new King of Fighters game. And he, Yasuyuki Oda, he in fact worked and was employed by SNK from 93 to 2000, so he's pretty much SNK's prime. So, I'm thinking this is gonna be good. I'm thinking kind of stuff for KOF14. I'm excited.
So, also from the PlayStation press conference, we also have a brand new Gravity Rush game coming out soon for the PS4. And also, we have news about the brand new PS4 exclusive WoW, in which that lets you possess eagles and ride bears. Like, that, pretty much that this is going to be over there for like a brand new edition of Far Cry, like it's set in a WoW for there for like, you can ride on fucking eagles and ride bears and shit. It's pretty fucking sweet. And finally, from the press conference, that we got fucking David Cage announcing that he'll be making a brand new game called Detroit.
It's David Cage.
And which, yep, David Cage. No relations to Brian Cage. So, I mean, it's like, why the fuck David Cage? Well, why would you make a game about Detroit? I mean, it's like, could you have picked other than the nicest cities there in the world? Could you pick, like, Baltimore or Chicago or Los Angeles? You know, those type of cities in certain games. Not fucking Detroit. So, anywho, with that concludes gaming news. Now, let's get over to the...
Well, I did have one more thing we didn't cover because we didn't have time for it last week. I forgot to mention this last week. But,
yes, go ahead.
Dizzy's confirmed for the new Guilty Gear game because she won the popularity poll that they had. I personally wanted Zappa, but I think he took, like, 9th place or something like that. I'm no good with that character, but just to see the shit that he does, we've seen him in Guilty Gear XX and the later games for that. I would have liked to have seen that, like, next gen. All the weird shit he's capable of. Bridget takes the 2nd spot, so which was close. I think it was like maybe like 100 or 200 votes away. I wrote it down a while ago, but I deleted it because I didn't think we'd cover it. I just remembered it now off the top of my head. And Biken takes spot 3, but I think they're only doing the first spot, unfortunately. But you never know. Maybe when they think of newer characters or want to do another Zard, they'll think of Bridget and Biken, bring them back in.
Right. So that concludes gaming news, and now let's move on to the shit pile of wrestling that we have or in here today. Let's first start off things with the latest that took on earlier on the wrestling week, and that is the Hell in a Cell pay-per-view.
The pre-show, the Faces win over the I think I called them the Eurohealins or something like that.
Yeah.
Yes, they were not from here. Although
yes, the Eurohealins.
Although I think after Monday, something happened to Rusev, like he's injured, so he was off. He was off TV, but I think he was on Monday, but not SmackDown. I was like, where'd he go? But yeah, he's news. I think it's like a bicep tear or something. He suffered, so he'll be out for I think a couple months.
Yeah, we have here. Speaking of that, the opening match of Hell in a Cell on the pre-show, which was the Creative Has Nothing for You tag team with Ziggler, Cesaro, and Neville versus, as you said, the Euro villains of Rusev, Sheamus, and King Barrett.
The heels won the Raw before, so I guess the Faces win this one. I didn't even write this one down, honestly, because I was like,
Yep.
But we open with the Cena's leaving for 2 months. So so is the U.S. title going with him, or does he drop it to somebody? And if so, who? So we had a... I forget who I said it was on Twitter. My hope and my big wish was like Kurt Angle, of course. You know, like to kind of like, what do they call it? I forget the term for that. It's like to end something, I guess, like they cap off their long feud or something like that they had way back when. To bookend, that's it. That's the term I'm looking for. To bookend it, kind of like Cena started like they could do that. Like, hey, Cena, his first match was with Kurt Angle, and now he's fighting for defending the U.S. title against Kurt Angle. You know, full circle that shit.
Mm-hmm.
America. But we get Zeb Colter. He's apparently turned over a new leaf and wants to bring countries together now. Instead of separatist Cena over here talking about how he's splitting crowd favoritism for him to good and bad. And I'm like, yeah, he's got a point there. Which soon does nothing to change. So I'm like, let me introduce someone who will do more with the U.S. title than you ever will, Cena. Alberto Del Rio. Who, by the way, I think is still AAA champion or something along those lines. I heard that.
Believe so, yeah.
Cena barely gets any offense in, and I think in like a few minutes, Alberto Del Rio's your new United States champion, shaking hands with Zeb Colter after the match. Strange bedfellows. So, how will this Del Rio be different without hype man Ricardo Rodriguez? And will people still welcome him back as much as they did tonight? These were questions I was asking myself after the match ended. Now for one of the matches I was most looking forward to, and one of our 2 Hell in a Cell matches tonight, and hopefully the end of this feud between Roman Reigns and Bray Wyatt. Roman bringing the hits early as Bray is the first to taste the cell, and then Bray gets creative. Starts hanging shit like in between like the open parts of the cell. I guess they do that so the cameras can get in and get like a closer look. I know that's why they do that, but he was putting in like kendo sticks and steel chairs, and it's like I'm gonna throw him into this. And at some point, Roman Reigns takes one of the he takes like one from like the one kendo stick from the cage, and I think he gets another one from under the ring, and he starts going Steve Blackman on Bray Wyatt. I was like, my boy!
Right.
One half of Head Cheese, Steve Blackman. Roman returns to his classic mild smugness, as he's known for, as he brings out one table and decides, no, I need to. He's like, no, it's not enough, man. I need. Bray tries to run at him, and Roman greets him with kicks. Bray just after the end just sidearms Roman, like just with one arm, just tosses Roman off the apron into a table. Ironically looking sort of like the Rock Bottom. They didn't bring that up in commentary, so I don't know. Maybe it's just like an Uranagi, they called it. I don't know if that's like the same as a Rock Bottom. I think Uranagi is like a bit of a spin, like they take one arm and then over the other side and then drop you.
Yeah, I believe so.
If I remember. So Bray's targeting Roman's ribs, but I am thinking, like, shouldn't his vest protect him from that? And I'm starting to think, like, take his vest off or something? Can you do something with that? Like, maybe he gets a knife out, and then I'm like, wait, what would Bray Wyatt with a knife need to cut a vest? He would do something more with that. This match is starting to make me really think, like, what's the vest thing? Does he have, like, a bad tattoo or something? And and the vest covers it up? It's just weird. Roman gets the semen treatment from the crowd. That didn't take very long, as Bray goes to work and brings another table to the middle of the ring and is poised to superplex him through it, and Roman fights him off and powerbomb. Near fall. Sister Abigail countered into a roll-up attempt, followed by a Superman punch, and still Bray is getting up. And The third table, yeah, 3 of them, is broken after Reigns spears Bray off the apron through it. Roman, damn near landing on his head on this one. This looked bad. And he still got up and gets Bray back in the ring to try and pin him, but once again, not a 3 count. Roman now gearing up for a spear. Boot to the head. Sister Abigail, another near fall. So Bray going back like, all right, let me go back to putting things into things. Let me get 2 kendo sticks. I'll place it in the folds at top, and you place it's like the folds of like the top and the middle turnbuckle. And Roman breaks loose with 1 kendo stick in hand and sends Bray into the other. Spear, pinfall. So I'm like,
yeah.
So I was like, good match. Would have been cool to see Bray win it, but But I'm like, okay, they got to be pushing him for the title, I'm thinking this whole time. So I'm like, okay, Bray's not winning this. I didn't think Bray was winning this at all. But I got to say, the dude went, like, if you're going to go down, this was a match to do it, and he went down swinging. I didn't take anything from Bray Wyatt.
In our next matchup, we have the glorious New Day. Yep. In our next matchup, we have the glorious New Day defending the tag belts against the Dudley Boyz.
I remember before this, we got a commercial for the next pay-per-view in November, Survivor Series. And it was like a piano-based theme for the Undertaker and all the stuff and all this, all the gimmicks he's went through. Well, save for the brief moment where he was a motorcyclist. Revisionist history. You see a lot of that. The pay-per-view went on, I noticed. But, yeah, the 25th anniversary. He made his debut at Survivor Series. And I'm like, okay. So I'm like, okay, cool. And, they're minus Woods again because he's still out after taking the table. So they're out here with, like, putting their hands on their head. Their hands or their fingers pointed, their finger pointed up. Keep our unicorns high, because we've the spirit of Xavier Woods with us in this trombone. And I, Kofi Kingston, will play the bongos on Devon's head. Hey-ya, hey-ya. And Big E, I will beat the drum. That is Bubba's belly, like a white Kamala.
Yep.
Oh. I love this team. Like, how did the Dudleys?
Me too.
How did the Dudleys go over this? JBL saying like the Philharmonic was sad for Xavier Woods. We lost him. He was trained by Chief J Trombone. Oh, the Dudleys. They at the beginning they went for some kind of tandem leg drop and they just botch it so visibly, just visibly enough for even where like the announcers weren't even able to cover it up. Like they're even the announcers like what was that? Like they had nothing. I was like, wow, that's gotta be bad. If the announcers can't even cover for your egregious fuck up. So it all comes down to Big E and Kofi double teaming Devon until Bubba gets the hot tag in. And Mox Big E gyrating. We don't need to see Bubba's Ray, thank you. I should have said Bubba's Wood, because tables, well. Yeah. It's bad either way. I'm painting a very horrible picture. Kofi from the skies! Fucking, just out of nowhere, just drops both Dudleys. Like, wow, he went a little Seth Rollins there, and then he channels Eddie Guerrero. Like, he has, like, the broken trombone. He throws it to, Bubba Ray, who's in the ring, who's the legal guy. And he channels Eddie Guerrero. He falls down. He's like, oh, he hit me with the trombone. And the ref is looking over and maybe yes, maybe no. And the ref's like, no, not buying it. So the match continues. And here I'm thinking, like, maybe the referee got to see all of Eddie Guerrero's finest on the WWE Network for only $9.99. Surprised the announcer didn't jump right on that. But again, I would do stupid shit like that. Match continues. Bubba breaks the trombone in half. No, Xavier! You can't keep it tight with a broken trombone. Can't keep it tight for Daddy. For Biggie. 3D, and here I thought the match was over right then and there. I thought they were going to win it, but no, Big E attacks from behind with one part of the trombone, allowing Kofi to pull off the retention. Yay! And Kofi's got one more for us as he pulls off the Alex Wright.
Right.
The Wonderkin, Kofi Kingston, with a hell of a week 3. I'm pulling out all the fucking... I'm gonna have to put that up too if no one knows what the Alex Wright is. I'm just talking to...
That does.
I'm in my chair, so I can't do it justice right now.
Yeah, speaking of which, the Dudleys are fucking stale as shit. It's like they need to bring back Bully Ray or whatever for Bubba Ray to do, because it's like there's not much for D-Bon to do except for probably maybe go back to his Reverend D-Bon gimmick. Which I'd not be shocked if like if they made Reverend D-Bon part of the New Day.
Oh, that would be amazing. Like he like just turns on, loses too many matches, so he turns on him.
Yep. And then still having to bring back Batista as Deacon Batista.
Deacon, the Deacon Batista. Well, he's got a movie thing now. They're not gonna do that. He's Isn't he in the new James Bond thing, or maybe I mistook him for someone else?
Yeah.
Isn't he Inspector?
Yeah, he's Inspector.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's Inspector. Yeah.
No way he goes back to being a Deacon after that. Especially after because I seen Guardians of the Galaxy, great movie.
Yeah, me too. Staying here with that, next we have the Diva Championship match between Charlotte and Nikki Bella.
No one else at ringside, by the way. So it's just a one-on-one. So no twin magic bullshit. Sick forearm shot by Nikki. It's like if it wasn't clear who she was in bed with and didn't rely so much on backup, she might actually get a little over as being the semi-serious kind of heel, because she can kinda sorta wrestle. And then this match happened and kind of maybe second guess the fact that she can kinda sorta wrestle. She does her job as a heel to get people not to like her, but just for all the wrong reasons. Because this was like the last pay-per-view where these two fought. We get a serious Nikki just targeting the legs of Charlotte this whole match, just about. But it's not as one-sided, thankfully. Like, because that was just weird. I was just a little weirded out by that one. This was a little more back and forth. I'm like, okay, we're getting a little better match from Charlotte. We're getting more to see more from her. Nikki tries to challenge a Flair to a chop fight, which works about as well as anyone who's even remotely familiar with Ric Flair would think. Nikki hurts herself as Charlotte just straight up dodges a top rope attempt. Don't know if that was like a botch or what. Tries to superplex her later, but ends up landing on her head as Charlotte just straight up counters that. I'm like, ooh, that's just two bad landings in the matter of moments. And Charlotte hits the spear into the figure 4, but her legs are all fucked up, so she can't complete like that back bridge into the figure 8. So and she's like, and Nikki manages to make the ropes and escape the figure 4. Alabama slam on the apron side from Nikki. Like, holy shit, this was audible. It felt like like these two are trying to take the other person out of commission. In this match, it looked like maybe she just got pissed off and just like... Nikki goes for the rack attack, but gets rolled up and countered into finally the figure for and Nikki taps out. So Charlotte, still your champion. Yay! Oh, your mic's really fucking up now.
Yep.
You're like coming in and out. Like I said, after I thought.
And finally, over there we have the World Championship match. Yep. Next, we have our World Championship match between Seth Rollins and Kane.
Yeah, the second hour, I think this was. Just about.
Yeah, roughly, yeah.
Well, that's because I don't. 1, 2, 3. Trying to cover all the matches we had. Yeah, after I thought Nikki was trying to convince me she knows what she's doing, speaking of WWE trying to convince people what they're doing, King feuding for the WWE title. I don't think anybody in the world was buying the fact that, I get it. This had to happen at some point because Seth's been pretty much fueling King's fire for quite some time now. I guess it was... The champion came out first, and I guess this was just so Seth would have that moment where the King's flames hit, and Seth's just like, huh! And you see him like visibly like jumping, like motherfuckers. But yeah, the WWE champion is out first, and there's still an Intercontinental title match after this. So I was like, wow, on 2 levels this is backwards. Back and forth till King gets the chokeslam at a 2.5. Tombstone coming, but Rollins escapes and King goes back to clearing announce tables. Like he's at the beginning of the match, he's cleared the Spanish announce table early on in this match and then goes to work on the English one. Young man, you finish your first table before you start your second one. Oh wait, it's so Seth, I guess, can powerbomb from one table onto the second one. Yes, by the way, I'm saying on because it wasn't through. That table didn't exactly break. King beats the 10 count somehow. So I'm like, okay, we can't end on that. Seth chopping down Big Red with knees and kicks. Frog splash near fall. Speaking of more channeling Eddie Guerrero. Well, he's been doing that for quite a while now. I think he's kind of indoctrinated that in his moveset, like the pedigree. Fights off a last-ditch chokeslam attempt. Pedigree for 3. Ding Dong Corporate King is out of work. Kind of a lackluster end, but an end nonetheless, and I was expecting like he was going to get up and we're going to get like a big send-off maybe, but yeah, no time for the na-na-na or the thank you kids portion of ending of that match. I guess we're saving that for Monday? Or not, but I'll get to that. And now, boys and girls, it's time for the Kevin Owens Show with our guest, Ryback. This is more like the Kevin Owens Super Bowl commercial, because that's about how long this pop-up powerbomb lets Owens retain in this very quick penultimate matchups, just so Brock Taker, quote-unquote, 3, takes as much time as it wants for the end of the pay-per-view. I'm like, alright, let's get these... Let's get the workhorses out of the way so Brock and Taker can kill each other. I'm like, alright. Taker's going to enter something padlocked with Brock Lesnar. Far braver man than most. Cole with the slightly revisionist history. I say slightly because he mentions Brock has won in a Hell in the Cell match before, but he doesn't say who against. I think I'm going to quote Little Karibo and say, the fucking Undertaker. That's who it was against. And once again, it was the Biker Taker, so they don't... I guess that's the other reason they don't bring it up. Like, even though I'm sure he's in 2K16, which I looked at, and I guess Fred Durst got a payday for that one, so I'm like... Weird? I don't know, just weird shit. But anyway, Taker very early offense, just stopping Lesnar and busting him open really early on in the match. A Hell in a Cell match with bloodshed? What a novel concept. Why didn't I think of that?
What a novelty.
Okay, well, if they were going to do it for one match, this would be the match you do it on. So.
Indeed.
And again, I'm nitpicking. I'm being Internet 97. I'm being nitpicky. Of course, I'm thinking like Brock looks over this and he's like Nelson Muntz's debut episode in The Simpsons. He's like, hey, wait a minute. You made me bleed my own blood. And suddenly Brock is on Taker with a steel chair in one hand. One shot catches Taker right in the fucking jaw. Like, whew. You had to have gotten bitched at in the back for that one. Whew. I don't think that was planned.
Yep.
Yeah, like right in the side of the face and the jaw or something like that. Like, ooh. So now Taker's bloodied after this one. And answers back, dropping Lesnar throat first onto a steel chair. These two are indeed wrestling like... Oh, someone is not walking out of this cell in one piece. Like, okay, they are leaving it out on the line. Ducks the clothesline from Undertaker. 1, 2, 3 suplexes. And an F5. 2 count. And now the doctor is out. He was out there before to check on Brock beforehand. He's there to check out on both these guys right now, and they're stopping the match.
The Doc was the best heel in this match.
And Brock eventually gets fed up. He's like, "Fuck this! I'm F5ing him again." He just launches the doctor. Second F5, 2 count, or like 2.5, like near fall. Lesnar now with steel steps to the ribs of the Undertaker. Near fall. Brock tries to crush Taker's leg with the steps now. Who's rolling at he does a roll out of the way. So Brock's like, okay, I'm going for it again. I'm like, okay, was this a botch too? And Taker just kind of like nudges him away. And so Lesnar falls backwards, and the steel steps like right on Lesnar's head. But of course, there's like that big wide gap there, so it's probably not really that. At least I don't recall I was. But again, with like the nudge he took, like.
Podcast alert. We found our.
Oh, hey.
Yeah.
We need to schedule this at least a day in advance, because I went to bed at 2 a.m. last night.
Oh, that's probably why. I woke up and had to get my teeth cleaned up. That's why I was already set to go.
Yep.
Thank you.
Thank
We
you.
didn't miss too much. We covered a couple of matches for Hell in a Cell. We're at the main event now.
That's right. Hell in a Cell.
Did you have anything to add at all to the matches? Because well, we did gaming news as well, because there was the U.S. title with Cena Del Rio.
Mm-hmm. Which is interesting.
Yeah.
Because he had Del Rio could have gone literally anywhere, and he chose WWE. Like, his options were...
Yeah. And he's still the AAA champion. We mentioned that as well.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, he's still AAA champion.
I guess he's dropping that at some point. I don't know when, though.
Oh, they're going to make him drop it.
Once he clears, like, his dates or whatever tour he's on.
Because, like, Lucha Underground was cool. Hey, you can be AAA champion all you want, man. Because, like, some wrestlers, the tag team champions were interested in Lucha Underground. Yeah, they're good. They're totally gonna make him drop it, and I think that'll be like not too happy with him, but he knew the consequences though.
Yeah, and then Bray Roman, their cell match, which I thought was pretty.
I did not think that this would be over with Bray and Wyatt, but it's actually over. Bray and Wyatt, Bray and Roman, but it's actually over with Bray and Roman now.
Yeah, at least for the foreseeable future. Well, which we'll get to again once we cover Monday. The tag match between the really, really audibly awkward botch with the Dudleys there, and then the New Day just saving that match up by Kofi channeling like 30 different people during that match.
Honestly, I don't get why did we really need the Dudleys?
They're over in their ECW guys. I think that's the short and long of it. Is my take on it now, especially after that matchup. I'm like, ooh, these like that. Once again, I keep bringing that back to the Kevin Hart Vine, the reaction of just like, no, he wasn't ready.
Oh my god.
Xavier channeling like 3 different people. He went from Eddie to... Well, he went from Seth Rollins because he flew from the sky, like out of nowhere. And then he did the Eddie Guerrero with like the trombone cheating spot, which the
that was
didn't
great.
buy. And then the little Alex Wright dance at the end.
Also, fuck that ref for not disqualifying the Dudleys immediately.
Yeah, it's weird. Table? Maybe he's seen, like I said, I argued maybe he watched the WWE Network. He's like, I know this ploy. I know what this is. I'm not buying it. And then the Divas Championship between Nikki Bella and Charlotte.
We knew Charlotte was going to win because there's no way Nikki's going to get back.
Yeah. We also knew Kane wasn't winning the title Seth either. So that was kind of... Yeah. And then
the only match that I had like no idea who was going to win was Brock Lesnar versus Taker. But that's next.
Yeah, that's what we're covering now. And we did... the Owens thing was like... That was short, and that was out there to be like, okay, Brock Taker 3, quote-unquote, can take as much time as it needs to.
Also, was it weird to you that the Intercontinental match was after the World Heavyweight?
Yeah, it was also weird the champ came out first. I guess to get spooked by the Kane lighting, like I mentioned. Because Kane's
I think it was rushed.
Yeah, like I said, you gotta give... Well, we gotta give Brock and Taker all the time they need it. I'm like, okay. Get out there and do your thing.
As long as Owens got over, I'm happy.
But yeah, we're talking about how Taker was taking everything at this point, and he's still kicking out. He's about to, like, the doctor's about to check on him. Brock just shoves him out of the way. Second F5. Kicks out. Steel step to the ribs. Kick out. Tries to crush his leg, and then he kicks it away from him, or, like, nudges him away. And from here, Taker manages to slap on the Hell's Gate. But Lesnar actually manages to break through that and starts, like, kind of go back to, like, MMA roots and starts just pummeling him with, like, just dead lefts and rights at him. And then he rips the ring floor apart. Shit just got real. Shit's about to get real in a hurry. He's exposing, like, he takes, like, there's, like, a padding on there, and he throws that out there, so there's, like, now there's, like, the wooden base of the ring underneath that. And
he was just making sure there was no one underneath so no one can drag him under like they did Seth Rollins.
Which would actually be hilarious if they brought that up. Taker does make it to his feet and chokeslams Brock on top of those boards. Tombstone.
He could have got
near fall
on the stone.
Now it's Brock's turn to kick out of crazy shit.
It's Brock's turn.
Taker calls for the end, and then he gets the low blow. I'm like, oh, turnabout. Taker couldn't kick out of the third F5 on WrestleMania, and he didn't do it on exposed boards either in this match. Lesnar now 2-0 in Hell in a Cell.
The only reason Brock won is because... Oh, wait, no. I gotta upload this. I have it saved on... Keep talking.
Okay.
I'll get it.
Well, the end was Taker about to do his thing. I'm like, okay, well, you're not going to give it to King, so Taker's got to have it. Because, again, we got to rush it out. We mentioned that, too. Like, Corporate King's out of a job, and we didn't have, like, a whatchamacallit. So I'm like, oh. And I'm like, no, whatchamacallit. Have Seth leave the ring. Rush, get to the end. We got to, like I said, we got to give them all the time they need. Taker about to show his respect to the fans, and out comes the entire Wyatt family. They're all four of them are back together, and finally, like, hey, Harper's back, and they lay into Undertaker, who's pretty much he's at low health, like he's a Pokemon about to be captured, like he's like that rare legendary that's still fighting. And he's doing his best, but it's a numbers game, and they carry him out to the back, and where at the point, like, even heel commentator JBL is putting over the fact, like, this is going too far. This is how disrespectful are these guys. Might have had a little bit more weight to it. I'm thinking if Bray won, but I'm like, nah.
He has a family medal.
They got to give Roman the championship and give Bray the interesting feud. So I'm like, all right.
The only reason
Brock won, immediately he was like back in like the main event, and again he's gonna be that water cooler comment, like, what's gonna happen Monday? I'm like, okay, that was Bray, that was their the whole thing, and they're all back together, awesome.
Then again, you could tell Roman was gonna win because, like, who was in the main event and who were the people who were contending. So it's like, okay, that guy's
you had to bring that full circle, I think.
That guy's not going to go over. No way you're being champion. Who's left? Roman Reigns.
Yeah, who steps up in Cena's absence for 2 months or however long he's going to be out. But yeah, you had something on that?
The only reason Brock won is because he channeled his inner Eva Marie.
Jesus Christ.
Look at Discord.
Oh, I forgot they have a thing. Because his hair. Oh, that's dark.
God damn it, Vexpir.
I forgot about that because you were sending me a bunch of shit for like Discord, and like we got like hot zombie Nazi Asuka. I'm like, damn.
Yes.
But that's the pay-per-view. Raw opens with the Authority, proud of their champion Seth Rollins, and yet they're like, well, you pretty much made our job kind of hard because now we got no one else to send your way. I'm like, well, Brock won, but I'm like, this is like Triple H is like, we're taking winners from the pay-per-view and putting them in matches, and I'm like, Brock Lesnar? You know, those winners, they in a fatal 4-way later tonight to determine who the number one contender is. I'm like, it's not Lesnar, is it? No way. He must have got ringed in the back after Taker caught that one shade of the jaw. Like, ooh. Oof. That was not scripted. So, I wonder if it's the person that just won his feud with Bray Wyatt and come out to interrupt the festivities, Roman Reigns. This is one-on-one with one half of the tag champs, Kofi Kingston. He's saying, we're putting things in their proper places. The Dudleys in the past. Xavier Woods in our hearts. And Roman in the ground. Abracadabra. Like, I'm about to make magic in the ring. I'm the new Harry Potter. Oh, I forgot something. Biggie Langston, Kofi Kingston, Xavier Woods, Kofi Kingston. That's what I'm looking for. But great match. But again, is we got to make Roman look strong. Kofi not exactly weak. It's just it's Roman Reigns. I mean, he takes it to the big guys as I expected. Like one half of the most over tag team that we have now. I say one half because Xavier Woods is still out. So they're down one, and it's just the two of them now. Match 2 between Owens and Cesaro. Another Matt classic between those two. Is Owens trying to get Michael Cole for WrestleMania to break his 1-0 streak? Or is it a case of troll Owens troll? Because if it's the former, Cole's been hitting the gym. So, I guess it would be a more interesting match. And what happened to everybody on... No one said anything? Hello? Oh, Marilyn's muted. I don't know what happened to Vexpir.
Yeah, I'm still here.
Okay.
I did go to the bathroom.
Oh, I thought my thing was fucking up or something. No, he's online. Okay, just... I wasn't getting any responses. It's like, I thought my thing fucked up. Because my computer's being kind of slowish. Trying to get rid of some of that. But yeah, Owens Cesaro. Owens again was right on Cole's trying to shit on Cole or something like that. And I'm like, I don't know if I can find that picture. Maybe with Cole then and compared to Cole now. I think I seen it in sight somewhere. Cole's been hitting the gym hard, so might be a surprise match of the year. I don't know. It's still Michael Cole. As freakishly built looking as he is now in that one picture. Cesaro using himself as a bullet, just repeatedly battering into Owens. But Owens, I think it's like a weird I don't know how to describe it, but he's like behind the rope, so the ref has to like break them apart. Like I guess it's like a rope break kind of thing. So he's like behind the ropes. He's like under the ropes, cowering, and the ref's like, break it up. And this is also Owens can break out of there, get his pop-up powerbomb and boot him. So Owens confirmed for the Fatal 4-Way along with Reigns. Paige puts herself over backstage trying to again buddy up with Charlotte and Becky because they're in a 6-woman tag against the Bellas. Nikki beats Becky with the rack attack, who pretty much doesn't really do all that much. Like, as soon as Becky gets in, like, 2 minutes later, Nikki just pins her. I'm like, wow. Paige doesn't even get a chance to get in the match at all after she's, like, sent down. And Paige then attacks both Charlotte and Becky Lynch after the fact. The heel turn! That we kind of had 4 weeks ago? But this is confirmed now, and we kind of already confirmed that she's kind of heelish. Was this meant to be a surprise? Crowd is really behind this turn. The live crowd out there. Maybe because it's like, oh, finally we're done with that bullshit. Maybe she'll be like an actual like badass heel diva. And probably partly due to the fact that a Divas Championship match will take place sans a Bella. Even though I think there's a recently just came out. Alicia Fox has like a new do. We didn't. It's on. I think it's on Twitter or like our Facebook or something like that. I tried to get it on here, but I couldn't. If I can find it, I'll put that up as well. Del Rio back with Zeb Colter. Zeb saying, no mortal walls keeping countries divided. We're Mex America now. Maybe they team up with... I'm thinking you team up with Bug Bagwell and create the American Mex, American Mex, American Mex, American Mex,
American Mex.
American Mex. Pretty good matchup with Neville. Del Rio, again, I knew Cena was leaving, so I didn't really pay as close attention to that, but wow. Like, his match with Neville, he's just throwing out clotheslines and, he doesn't do the cross arm breaker? Like, I think he put Cena with, like, a sick boot to the head, like, just a vicious, really nasty boot to the head. Like, one of those, like, indie grins where it's just, like, a loud slap noise almost, where the kick lands or something like that. Like, it looks and sounded amazing.
Yeah.
But yeah, his new finisher, because he did it on SmackDown too. It's a double stomp from like a Tree of Woe position, and I'm thinking like, Finn Balor? Doesn't he do that? Doesn't Finn Balor do it from like the... I know he does the double stomp, but I don't know if he does it from like the Tree of Woe position. With the other
think he
wrestler.
does.
But yeah, Del Rio looked amazing. So he's confirmed to be in the Fatal 4-Way. 6-man tag with Ryback and the Dudleys. I believe I called Ryback Big Meat Dudley or something like that. Or Big Ear Dudley.
Yeah.
Or if you wanted to be mean, Dumb as Fuck Dudley. Because it isn't all like D Dudleys, like Big Dick Dudley. I'm dumb as fuck. I'm sorry. The Euro Healins. Triple meat hook. So they all do the thing. The Dudleys foolishly go for the tables. DQ? No? Alright, it's gonna roll up the legal man and wins for his team. Get me a glass of water and let me do some backflips or cartwheels or whatever he did. Like, wow, he was really over on that win there. He's excited. I'm like, okay, you beat the Dudleys. I'm like, wow, I beat one of the most over teams in the ECW and Attitude Era. I'm like, all right. Be 1/3 of arguably one of the greatest match gimmicks they had. TLC. They started that. I'm like, okay, I might be giddy too if I did that. But yeah, I think it was the last we see. He was out there, Rusev, but we don't see him for Thursday because it's just down to Sheamus and Barrett because I think Rusev is, like I said, he had suffered a bicep tear. And now we get to the water cooler moment. Like I said, why, Bray? Why? For 25 years, he had no equal. Grown men trembled at the mere mention of his name, but last night the apocalypse showed its face. And I'm like, wow, there are 4 of them. They could be the 4 horse. maybe a different team or something like that. Because the woo! Unless Bray starts doing flare jumps. Whew. That could be weird. Move thief kind of thing. They carried out the soul of the Undertaker, and can you feel this horrible feeling? Roman Reigns, one day you and I will dance again, but not until I'm properly revitalized. And that's why I took the Undertaker. His sacrifice is my resurrection. I'm feeding on him as we speak. His soul is being ripped to shreds, desecrated and torn apart. Is Bray Wyatt now the Shang Tsung of WWE? Is this lantern just this tiny little... Like, he's got a Soulnado in there, and that's what powers the lantern? Like, he just blows it out or something?
I'm not sure.
Your soul is mine! Kane! You'll be next. Speaking of, apparently, as soon as I say that, I'm like, wow! They confirmed it! Kane's gonna Liu Kang this bitch, and he gets number gamed and carried out just like Taker did. I'm like, oh, okay, that's his farewell moments. I'm like, so okay, I guess they're gearing up to, like, 4 Wyatts and 2 Brothers of Destruction for Survivor Series, and that's maybe like the Taker's last match, where he'll, like, I guess do the deed for the Wyatts and make them finally be like this huge threat that they've been, like, trying to be. They're still cool, but they haven't really won any big decisive matches. So maybe this is finally their finally their due. And then the 4th match for the 4-way pits Darth Epsilon versus Opie Zig Kenobi. I say that because I'm Big E's like, we meet again, Ziggler. When you were Money in the Bank World Heavyweight Champion, you were the master, and I the learner. But it's a new day! Yes, it is! And look, everybody, it's Tyler! Time to push that feud, I guess, or not? Because Biggie gets all up in Tyler's eating space. Like, he's out there with Summer Rae. I think the Twitter took Summer Breeze. I don't think WWE called him that, because that's actually a good name for them. They'd probably name him something stupid like Team Hell No. Or what was it? We had Altitude Era, and then we got Air Boom was the Kofi and Evan Bourne. I'm like, oh, lame. Like, you had it with Altitude Era. I think that was one of the choices for, like, choose the, like, hey, give him a tag team name. I'm like, oh, that's clever. That's brilliant, actually, Altitude Era. I'm like, I guess Neville can take that now. But yeah, Biggie invades Tyler's eating space. Like, he's out there with, like, a Summer Rae with, like, a drink in his hand and, like, a big sushi plate. It's like this weird chair or something like that. He doesn't touch the sushi at all. I'm like, dude, it's right there. And I'm thinking I would be probably terrible for, like, segments like that, because if I saw a sushi plate like that, I'd be like, yum, yum. I guess that's why they won't have Ryback be like what I'm thinking, like, if they gave, for some reason, they give Ryback, like, the pretty boy gimmick, and I'm like, I can't, yeah. I can't see the food's right there, man. Like, come on. That sushi plate looked really good too. I'm like, I'm focusing too much on that. I'm sorry. Maybe it makes him a good heel. Like, he's actively wasting, like, good food, which irks me. I don't like to throw shit away. Like, especially sushi as good as that. Like, maybe he had, like, a bunch of shit in catering and came out and was like, okay, so I'm full now. I won't touch this. Maybe there's, like, a backstage thing. Oh goodness! Someone went to underwater. What the hell's going on? Quite the matchup between the former stablemates. But yeah, I guess because Biggie invaded his eating space, Tyler doesn't interfere this time and cost Ziggler the match. So yeah, Ziggler in the main event for the championship. He's the only other face in there, so I'm like, well, he's not going to win, but, you know. Speaking of which, Ambrose backstage taking up Roman saying, you know, you've been this close before, you know. It's time to get back up there. And Ziggler gets the only a G comment segment for rest for the main event. They just do that out there real quick. The heels team up very, very briefly. Del Rio and Owens, because it's Del Rio maybe kind of noble-ish, but we all know Owens is mostly out for himself. Countering the poor Del Rio, man, he gets sandwiched between rolling senton from Owens. Like, he's in the corner, he takes the rolling senton from, like, in the ring, and the running drop kick from Roman outside. So I'm like, wow, Del Rio. I'm like, well, Del Rio's gonna roll off and see you on SmackDown. Just crumple him up and he's done with. I forget what happened to Ziggler, but the match ends. Roman's about to eat the pop-up powerbomb, and he's up in the air. Bam! Superman punch right to the face and into the spear for the win. And so Reigns and Rollins at Survivor Series. I'm like, okay, that was cool. I like the counter. I like the thing where it's like it's Del Rio port. I was like, oh man. Like, well, at least you're United States champion. You beat Cena clean as a shit. You know, take it. You know, they'll never take that away from you. Viva Del Rio. And that brings us to
it was Raw.
NXT.
NXT.
Emma versus another diva.
There we start
from Sydney, Australia. Shazza. She looks like a Nitro girl with the platinum blonde hair and the sparkly sky blue outfit. I was like, was she a dancer or something? Heel Emma. Not used to seeing that, but this was a very telling match for Emma. I'm like, I like this. She wins. She has a submission and wins by that too. I'm like, wow, okay, looked good. It told the story that because Asuka, like twice now, they bring the fact up that she like kind of creepy slasher smile on Emma, and Emma just turned away from her. She's like, I don't want to be here right now. I'm a little terrified of you. I don't know what you're gonna do to me. Stop smiling. But yeah, like, Emma just really looking strong out here. I'm like, okay, she's like, next time she sees her, it's gonna be a different story movie, and we're gonna actually see like maybe where Asuka's gonna win, but Emma's gonna like put on, like, we're gonna see more of Asuka to have to dig deep, hopefully. The greatest tag team 2.0 of Jordan and Gable
versus Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa.
Oh, love these guys. I've heard, I think I've heard Gargano. I know Ciampa was over, he did a match in TNA or something like that, or at least I looked up the YouTube stuff when I was looking back and forth.
Ciampa is on the NEC, mostly working for Ring of Honor, so.
Yeah, he was all over the place. I heard his name come up quite a bit. I think Gargano too, but they look all right to me, but maybe it's just, and I'm trying to get into like the WWE mentality of it. Like, if you put them on TV, I wouldn't personally recognize them. I only know Ciampa because I've seen him a bunch. Like, Jordan Gable, they have like a great look. They have the tandem thing going on. They look impressive. Their moves are impressive. Not to take anything away from Johnny Gargano. He had like a really amazing, it was like a tornado DDT from like the ropes or something like that. He goes over the ropes and just BAM! I'm just saying, your one it factor, I'd say Jordan and Gable, but I don't want to take anything away from Gargano and Ciampa. This match was amazing in all four of these guys, but I gotta give the nod to Jordan and Gable, and I'm glad they won. Kaylee Ray, come on down. You're the next victim of Nia Jax. This was probably like 3 minutes, maybe. If and I'm probably being generous with that. Damn you, Dash and Dawson! They're about to have a match with Enzo and Big Cass to determine who gets to face the Vaudevillains for the NXT Tag Champions, and Enzo does this intro thing where it's like, my name is Enzo Amore, and they get jumped. I'm like, okay, cool. They're over his heels. You don't see this very often anymore, and I kind of was wondering when they were gonna do this kind of spot again, where it's like the faces are doing a thing and the heels just jump them, and Big Cass is down. They take him out at the knee, and I think I read somewhere where he's later on he's like his leg and knee is messed up or something. I forget what it was, but he's like out of action for a while, so I don't know what they're doing with Enzo and that's the stable. Alexa Bliss challenges Bayley to a 6-person tag. Alexa, of course, will bring her goon squad of Blake and Murphy, so I guess Bayley's gonna bring in, I don't know. Well, you probably know but that would be spoiling. We're not gonna. Gotta think of the TV.
Yep.
Main event: Tyler Breeze versus Samoa Joe, NXT Original versus IWC Darling. If Breeze wasn't already called up to the main roster, that's kind of how I'd actually book this match. I think the announcers kind of sort of put that over in my mind. I'm like, okay, this is good. Like, Breeze has been here since kind of the inception of NXT, and that's why he felt the need to rob this guy. All of a sudden comes along like Samoa Joe, kind of like relatively new as far as NXT. He's if I can't have the match, you can't have it either, and that's why he did what he did. And I feel for Breeze, like he's been here since the beginning, and he's been trying to get an opportunity to get that NXT championship. He's never won the big one here.
Right.
Kind of the same thing they've been doing for Balor and Apollo Crews, who I think that's next NXT. That match
next week
for the.
So anywho, that covers that. Except for me for covering Ring of Honor.
Joe wins the match with the Coquina Clutch. After Breeze takes the fight to him as only he can. I am so looking forward to him on the main roster. But anyway, on to Ring of Honor.
Yeah, so we have start off with our opening match over here with Donovan Dijak taking on Moose. And Moose is definitely one of the most over guys now over there on the Ring of Honor roster. And over this entity where it just repeats Moose over and over again. Moose has a really incredible athleticism here, but unfortunately he won a match with a poor looking spear on Dijak. So next up we have Cedric Alexander taking on Dalton Castle, and Dalton Castle is another guy over there is like a guy that you just love to hate because over there it's like he just tries to nerve you for whatever reason. Then that Cedric Alexander was able to beat Dalton Castle with a bangarang for the win there, and of course that as the same was there confirming that the Young Bucks have indeed signed a contract extension with Ring of Honor. Many thought that the Young Bucks were going to go to WWE, but now they're sticking with Ring of Honor. So, and next up, there we have set for a main event with the King of Adam Cole, Michael Bennett, Matt Taven versus Red Dragon of Kyle O'Reilly, Bobby Fish, and Big Mike, Michael Elgin. And overall, this turned into a very solid TV main event. And here with the King of Gang of the win here. So that's it for Ring of Honor. So let's move on to SmackDown.
Didn't you have something before that? We were gonna, because you were doing gaming.
Oh yeah.
We forgot to cover the new band list.
Oh yeah, we'll get to that in a minute. So, anywho, forgot about bring up the Lucha Underground. There's releases taping dates for season 2. And starting up on November the 14th, and it's going to end on January the 31st. So, if you're out down there on the Southern California area, go to there one of Lucha Underground's tapings. You'll definitely don't want to miss it. So, anywho, with that, breaking news over in here. We're talking about the new Yu-Gi-Oh! Banlist.
Couple of changes here.
Including the Shadows, the Burning Abysses, and the Necros getting fucking nerfed real hard.
Yeah, a couple new Forbiddens.
Yep, including Cold War Towers and the Shirit Necros. And also Construct getting banned. Before Exxon Knight getting banned. Full Force Scout, Graph Burning Abyss, and Mathematician all limit down to 1. So is Necros, Brynek, and Unicorn, and Retrobeast Ultra, Altai Conahawk, and El Shadal Fusion, and Reinforcement of the Army getting down to 1.
Reinforcement Army.
The only other card getting
that's the only one. That's the only card. The old school, so that's the only one I'd recognize.
Yeah, the only other card being set to 2 is Zeros of Burning Abyss. And now, the newest to get us there to 3s are Chaos Sorcerer, Just Samurai Shian, Spellbook of Fate, and Gear. So,
Sorcerer for the longest time.
Exclusive that with you get Banlist. Now let's get over to Smackdown.
It was off there for a while. I still miss Morphing Jar, damn it. Anyway.
Yep.
Especially 2. 1 was good, but I like 2 a little bit. Also, 1 could kind of fall back on it. I guess 2 could have as well. But anyway, SmackDown opens with Bray Wyatt with Undertaker's hats, and he now, in fact, does own both souls of the Brothers of Destruction. And I'm like, he's going to turn into a hillbilly Shang Tsung. He's already got the beard, kind of. He could pull it off. And he's issuing a challenge to any 3 brave enough to fight my monsters tonight. You know, he's calling I'm like, okay, this is good. He's calling the entire locker room out. He's like, well, I got these 3 big bad motherfuckers behind me. You know, question is, who's gonna come out and face them? Roman Reigns out here to talk about the struggle to get back to getting that shot for the WWE Championship. I basically went through all that stuff with Bray Wyatt. I went through everybody, and now all that's in my way is Seth Rollins. And Kevin Owens has something to say about that, saying, you stole from me, and now you're the #1 contender. Yeah, good for Roman. You're talking like your victory is another chapter of overcoming the odds, when all it was you getting lucky because I was this close to hitting my finisher. And Roman's like, you want to talk or you want to fight? And we got a referee out here. I'm like, Reigns versus Owens to kick SmackDown off. I'm like, holy shit, this might actually... SmackDown actually becoming interesting. I'm like, wow. What else do you have for me in Cena's absence? I hope to see this match again if Reigns does in fact become the champion, and then we have Owens as a #1 contender. So we can actually see this match being like fighting for much bigger gain, to see Owens in prize fighter mode, because he's got a championship. You know, he doesn't really have a reason to stick out there. So I'm like, yeah, as soon as he got Superman punched off the rope, I'm like, yeah, he's gonna bail. So, and of course he takes his belt and leaves to the crowd. So Roman wins via countout. Dean Ambrose first to draft himself against the Wyatts because he has a big history between them, and I guess, well, he's kind of still stuck in that feud. I'm like, well, Roman's gone with the championship. I guess that just leaves me all by myself. Well, he's going to get 2 other guys, but yeah, I mean. And then, boo! I'm like, what the fuck? It's Boo Dallas! He's in a shit ready to scare someone tonight. I'm like, okay. You didn't scare anybody, though. You actually look a little scary with the thing, with the sheet off of you. Because you want to talk slasher smiles with Asuka. Jesus Christ. That dude's got, like, incisors, man. Like, his teeth is, like, I don't know what it is. It's, like... it looks like a guy from, like, that old America Most Wanted shows or something like that. Like, if you could do, like, if you wanted to, like, Attitude Era, like, creepy slasher flick kind of creepy heel Bo Dallas, I'd buy it. The dude looks like he could be a fucking nightmare. So I'm like, oh god, put the hood on. Tag Team Terror 4 corners match. The Dudleys, the Lucha Dragons, the Ascension, and the 2/3 of the Euro Heelians, Sheamus and Barrett. Kofi and Big E on commentary wearing headbands with the little unicorn horns on the front of them, yelling at the other competitors like how they're not in costume, and they're like, shame! Shame! So yeah, they're on commentary again for this one. I'm like, all right, this is even picking up even harder. And Kofi says to Booker T like, hey, maybe you can be old school Kofi Kingston. And Booker T goes to like, no, the Kofi Kingston, like the Booker T. Immediately reminding me of his weird time where he had that weird, like, I guess like he was kind of like King Booker except not, and he couldn't do like the English accent, so he's doing like an African King or Jafrican accent. The main event Mafia Booker T era, just about more or less. I think he had the Legends Championship at the time. Like he brought that out. And I think that was his big contribution to Mafia, other than being tag champs with fucking Steiner. I'm like, yeah. I remember later on when he broke down, he's like, you wanna make me bleed, dog? You wanna start a fight with me, Joe? Talk about let's money. You gonna get hurt? Oh, I can't do that right now. Damn. And that's why you haven't seen anything from Promo Win on that. Because I haven't quite figured that part out yet. Where was I? The Dudleys run the besties off. Which means we are the Ascension and we will job to the Lucha Dragons. Ambrose looks over at a guy off screen saying, you're dressed up like the Transporter or James Bond. WWE Films presents Cesaro. Ooh, Antonio. Wait, that's... I'm like, you can do it. You can be the next Dean Malenko back when he had that very brief, like, James Bondish kind of thing, for those who remember. Mesmerizing, alluring, I don't know the whole thing. If I can find that, I'll put that up. Oh. And then Cesaro turns it around on him, saying, like, you look like you're ready for Beyond Thunderdome there, Mad Max, with all your leather. And it's like, I like this jacket. I'm like, yeah, it looks good on him. But it's like, yeah, I'm going to join your little Wyatt busting party. I'm like, okay, he's good. He's got a second. Dolph Ziggler, dressed as, I didn't know who it was until King said it was Nikki Sixx from Motley Crue. I'm like, all right. I don't really follow that much Motley Crue, so I wasn't too sure what to make of it. Miz is out and whatever. I guess is in his still doing his Jedi robes or whatever. In a trick or treat street fight, and by street fight I mean Dolph and Miz just throwing each other into pumpkins sitting on the outside of the ring, and well, at one point one of them gets out a lightsaber from one of the pumpkins. Like Miz just starts kicking pumpkins around. He's like, "Get the pumpkins out of the ring." And I'm like, okay, he's not playing along. But yeah, lightsabers. Somehow not as bad as when TNA did Hardcore Justice. I've seen that. That was hard to watch. That was... Ooh. That was back when you had to pay $40, $50 for their pay-per-views. Which I didn't. I just remember I remember seeing it, like, on... Ooh. Hard to watch. Miz bobbing for apples, pumpkin on the head of Miz, and Zig super kicks it off, and then that's his breaking point, because all of a sudden this actually does turn into an actual legit, like, Miz serious offense, and starts to work on Ziggler's knee. Like, he wrenches it on the ropes, he bashes his knee with the chair, I'm like, to the ring post. I'm like, holy shit. Is Miz gonna win a match? So you're actually getting serious, like, heel Miz again? And I'm like, no, Ziggler rolls him up when Miz tries to go for his shitty version of the figure four and wins. And I guess to be left for Tyler Breeze. And he is. I'm like, okay. Maybe a little weird on my end to say this, but I'm going to say it. It might make me sound a little weird, but I feel like Tyler Breeze is in such good shape out there that he looks that great, and after the match ends, like, he looks so good, Summer Rae, in comparison, looks just as good. So she looks good along with them. And I had a weird noise. I thought something happened. Did somebody like leave or something? Oh, we lost Vexpir. Holy shit. Vexpir, no! Vexpir!
Yeah, we lost him.
We lost Vexpir! We lost Big Vex! He sounded like he was 7 feet tall, and we can't teach that!
So, anywho.
So, yeah, Summer Rae actually looking really good out there. And I'm like, that's weird. I guess that's the power of Tyler Breeze. Because he looks that awesome. He like makes everyone else around him not awesome look awesome by comparison. He's like comparison, like which is like comparison ugly or like kind of thing that they had for a while. I'm like, yeah. Well, that sounds mean. I'm not the type of person to say it. But it looks, she looks better than I do. I'll say that. But yeah, another statement made on Ziggler. Is this? I guess this is becoming a thing. Maybe that's like his big thing. Him, like Ziggler doing the job to Tyler Breeze. Natty's back. Okay. And she's like, she's on the cutaway. She's like, I'm like, okay, she has a match with Paige. I'm like, oh, well, did you confirm that you jumped in? She's like, and I'm like, yeah, you jumped me backstage, and I was like, and I know you're out here saying like I don't have any proof, and I'm like, well, did she or didn't she? You didn't really answer the question. But yeah, she was back, and at the beginning of the match, she just eats like a big boot from Paige. No wonder he got so easily jumped. I'm like, shit. There's like shitty depth perception. And she fights back for a bit, and never mind that shit. Here comes Sasha Banks, leading Team Bad. By the way, she says, oh, do you get attacked from behind? You get jumped. You keep getting jumped from backstage. Your old thing. Yeah, you're always wanting attention. You Vars now, bitch. Like, I'm like, she's about to get real. And along a good enough distraction for, well, if Sasha came right there tonight, I would certainly be more than distracted. That's not what I'm saying. But it's enough for distraction for Natalya to get jumped again as Paige wins the match. I'm like, wow, you're really bad at this. And now Team Bad all over Natty. By the way, like I said, Sasha led Team Bad because they come out and leave to Sasha's theme, and she was pretty much calling the shots, like the bank statement. She was like the cap off for that one till the refs come out and say, like, break it up, get out of here. So, boss status confirmed. I certainly, for one, hope so. So I'm like, okay, she's the most over of the three. I'm like, maybe she should be the leader. I'm like, okay. And not a single Bella on Smackdown. Maybe they're getting phased out. Although the new haircut, maybe that could be an interesting thing. I don't know. Just like a mohawk or something like that. I didn't get a good look at it. That could be interesting. Ryback heard Ambrose was looking for a third. He was at history with them too. Meanwhile, Vex had a counselor appointment. That's why he took off. Alright. Guess we had to do this one sans Vexpir. Big Vex! We'll have to let him intro the next one if he's available. We'll just keep it from... I know, it's a lot of touch and go for a while. Sorry about that. We are definitely pushing for the Friday thing. I thought that's gonna work with us. I still say we should.
Anywho, we have Del Rio taking on R-Truth.
Yes. This was quick. Like, back in commercial, R-Truth gets maybe like some offense in there, and then he just eats that, like Del Rio just goes to work, eats the finish. Little title rechristening before this match. Like, we're Mex America, so this is now the Mex America Championship. I thought they were gonna like slap like a sticker on it or something like that, but maybe Monday you save that on, maybe like a live show. I'm like, okay, because this is their United Zeb and Del Rio. By the way, the Boo Dallas thing comes to a head when he finally gets one. Unfortunately, it's at the expense of Mark Henry, who drops his phone after getting spooked, and then he just decks him in the face. I guess That's what he boo. Main event time! Cesaro, Ryback, and Ambrose versus 3/4 of the Wyatts. This match, it's Cesaro just lays waste to everyone with uppercuts. Strowman gets sent out over the announce table by a drive-by Ryback. A drive-back, if you will. And as Cesaro's got Harper in the ring, he's about to swing him. Like a fucking bulldozer, Strowman just... The entire announce table is just 180. Like, he just sent it over himself, and Cesaro's like, holy shit. Like, Cesaro's... It's enough to make Cesaro look over and be like, fuck. And then Harper just kicks him away, and then right into a waiting Bray Wyatt on the outside who just decks Cesaro. Big lariat from Harper for 3, and that's SmackDown. So again, they needed to go over. I'm like, okay, the heels need to win this. How are they going to do it? I'm like, okay, that's cool. You show them despite that, they do that spot with Strowman like looked amazing. Like, wow. I'm thinking like they're gonna have Eric Rowan as kind of the fall guy, and Strowman or Harper will make the hot tag. And then I'll just start killing people, or Bray can do like some interesting shit. Because still Harper's the only one of that family with any gold. He's a former Intercontinental Champion. He beat Ziggler for it. Because that's when he was repping the Authority at the time. So I'm like, hey, that worked out for him.
Right. That concludes SmackDown. Now it's time to do our closing segment, which is the Fantasy Draft segment. In honor of the Survivor Series coming up soon,
yes,
redoing our Fantasy Survivor Series teams. Now we include anybody from the past, present, and or future. Here to create our own Fantasy Survivor Series team. And my Fantasy Survivor Series team be Team Ravishing, consisting of the Hollywood Blondes of Sony, Steve Austin, Brian Pillman, John Morrison, Tyler Breeze, and Ravishing Rick Rude. And also to be led up by the ring by Sensational Sherry. And could you imagine how amazing that team would be? Especially with John Morrison as a heel, with a chemistry with Rick Rude and Tyler Breeze, and the Hollywood Blondes back in the day.
His best shit was when he was heel.
Yep. So I'm here. Alright, Renell, who would be your Fantasy Survivor Series team?
If I could pull from everybody, I just had like a Moon 5 where it's like a 4-person stable, like just based off the most over heels at the time, and I guess Sasha Banks would kind of be like the one girl in that group or hang around. Like Seth Rollins just, he's like, I'm gonna build a new Shield, and I'm gonna get let's get over some of the most accomplished heels I have right now. Let's get Del Rio. Let's get Kevin Owens. I was thinking like that. I was thinking like maybe a new Shield or something. But my Survivor Series team would be like, I guess if Cena were to come back, maybe you could do like an like kind of play off like Del Rio needs a team of like Americans trying to not be because they could make the argument like America is a very divisive country with all the real life shit that's going on. Like really make like Zeb Colter could do that brilliantly. Like he made the playoff the whole separatist thing where there was like the real Americans like Turker Gerbs, like all that stuff. Like now he's like 180 and he's like, yeah, like hey, bring everybody over. Like we used to be like America the free, and that's what made us strong because we got along so well with our neighbors, and we need to start that again. Like, so we got from our allies from we beat them in the Cold War, and now we're friends. Rusev, and he's back with Lana again, so putting them back together is a plus. So Del Rio, Rusev, our friend from Canada, like the Canada Mex-Americans. I was thinking like bringing Kevin Owens in on that shit too, because that's double champions now. You got Intercontinental and United States. Wade Barrett, I guess it'd be like the English guy and I guess I'd bring them in too, like Wade Barrett and Sheamus. Like you're just that whole team. Just put Del Rio in, slap them in there. Let's see, Del Rio, Sheamus, Barrett, Rusev, Owens. Yeah, that's a winner right there.
And this concludes the third edition of the Suplex City podcast.
Any teams you guys have, and let us know in the comments. We'd like to get some feedback from you guys. But yeah,
yep.
That concludes the podcast. Take care. Thanks for listening.